Hello and welcome to episode 20 of our Gnomish Hierarchy campaign. So in the last episode we finished up some wars with Bjarnrik and with Venale to take their colony over here. And today's episode is also going to be war, but it's not going to be an easy one. It is time to finally take on Lorent and continue down the right side of our mission tree and start securing more land close to home. Our AE around here is very low, except for a couple nations who we've been at war with multiple times. So I want to make sure that I'm not wasting time by not having AE tick down with all of these other regent court nations. Plus, Coronite has started to spread, so a lot of these nations over here in the east aren't going to get as much AE. The goal of the war is to take at least these 3 provinces for our mission tree. So in order to win this war the most efficiently, we're going to use our artificer troops. And in order to do that, to make them very good, we need all of our artificery capacity available to use. Which means we're going to have to wait until at least 1543 to be able to declare war on Lorent, because then we'll have the ability to not have the research and to get rid of the vendorless stalls and then put in our combat artificery stuff. I am going to remove vendorless stalls now because it will take away loyalty, and eventually I will want their loyalty back up, so that way I can remove the combat focused research stuff. Privileges, that's the word, privileges. So we do have some troops over here. We are going to bring all of our ships back home because Lorent has the same amount of heavy ships we do, so I want to make sure that our navy is together and ready to fight. We also have about 800 ducats ready to rock and roll, so I'm going to build a fort on Manor because we need to do that for a mission, so that's important. We'll just grab a level 2 fort here, and I'm going to build a fort on Faycombe. I'd rather have a hills fort than a farmlands fort. So we'll also pop down a fort here. Eventually, I think the best fort is going to be like Lone Valley, because it can cut off both of these provinces, but we're not going to be going to war with Vertesk for a long time. That would involve fighting the Empire, and that's a lot of AE that I don't really need to spend at the moment. So we will bring our troops back home from the Bjarnrik front here. And we will continue to get ready. I do want to upgrade my infantry units. I forgot to do that in the last episode. Into musketeers. Another gnomish refinement. Gnomish muskets are long or even longer than their human counterparts, and are often manned by 2 gnome teams. One is the shooter and one is the stand and the reloader. So we got a little teamwork going for our infantry here. But that is 6 fire pips. That is very good, considering we also have a god tier general, which is not this one actually, but this one with 6 fire, 5 shock. That is going to come in very handy. We'll then bring our transports back on down. Who knows what we may need them for. We are going to be losing a lot of manpower when we're transporting these guys across the ocean, but that is fine. We will also get these troops into position to attack Lorent's colony. Now, Sornikand is going to join the war. They're allied with Lorent. They have 7,000 troops, but New Wittechand also has 7,000 troops. So I think our colonies are at a point where they are strong enough to kind of stand on their own against the other nations' colonies, which is very nice, because I would love for them to do some expanding on their own. Now we are ahead in military tech, so the sooner that we can go to war with Lorent, really the better. But we need to wait for our special artificer privileges so we can get that minus 30% shock damage received, I believe it is. And there we go. We will now take Diplotech, get the innovativeness 5.32. We're up to 78.2. Very nice. Our tech is looking great. We will be a little bit behind on admin, but that's not the end of the world. Our forts are going to be done in 1544. So I'm not sure if we'll actually wait for those forts to be done or not. I do kind of want to get this war rolling. We're making plenty of money, so I want to check how many artificer units we have. So I'm going to build 3 more to make sure we have a full front line of artificer units, and then I'm going to build 4 more cannons, so that way we can get through these sieges a little bit faster. If we go ahead and we take a look at Lorent here, I was just looking at their navy. We are outnumbered in cav, so if we can find a way to pick off their smaller stacks, then we should be good. Because as long as those cav aren't flanking us, then they're not going to be as effective. So we'll bring everybody together. Of course, that does cost more manpower. We are never, ever, ever having enough manpower, it seems. And we will pull off all the regular troops. Accidentally took one of our good troops off there. And that looks good. Put you back, and then we'll take the regular troops, and they will be the reinforcements. It looks like we are going to have some Bjornrik's separatists, which is a little disconcerting. I don't really want them to fire. So if I go like this, I think they probably won't. I can just remove them from the trade company later if I need some governing capacity. That's not a big deal. There we go. This is why it's nice to have your land connected, because then I could just have my troops suppress rebels and I wouldn't have to worry about it as much. So just double check they're all low. Yep. How long till we finish coring? We're almost done. And that should be enough to make the rebels kind of go away. Rigorous researchers, very nice. Some more tech. And this right here is going to be our combat stack. These are going to be our reinforcements. We have 2 3-star generals. Hopefully that's enough to make the difference and let us come out on top of Lorent. I think the coalition did fire, so there's really not a better time to attack Lorent. Like, there's really not. What artificery capacities, or artificery privileges, sorry, can I put in right now? So I can put in the magical missile deployer, and I can put in, where's the other one that gives me, here, deployable turrets. Yes, so we want deployable turrets, and oh, and the magical missile deployer. Perfect. I can have them both in and still research. That is awesome. So yeah, eventually when I do hire a lot of new generals or new naval guys, I'll try and put in the land leader maneuvers and do that. But yeah, we now have minus 30% shock damage received. Now we do have an overall minus 10% to our movement speed, which is not great, but it's going to have to do for now. So we're going to make the war goal turn well, and we're gonna do it. I think it is time. We'll call in Arboran, might as well. They're not gonna want anything, so I don't have to mark vital interest. Actually, I will, just in case. You never know with the AI what they're gonna mark as vital interest. I've had too many wars go wrong because the AI occupies the one province I need, even when it doesn't make any sense for them to want it. And let's go. So, they have more cannons, so we have to be careful about that, but I think we're just going to rush down this fort here. We're going to send this stack to occupy the war goal. And then we will simply... Why are you going all the way around? Is there a fort? No. Oh! I did not realize that that was wasteland. Interesting. Okay, I like that. That's cool. I mean, I don't like it because, well, you know, I can't go through it, but look how many forts Lorent has. That is insanity. Like, I know that it's because they annexed a lot of them through vassals or through conquering, but like, does the AI not delete them? Like, this is a nutty amount of forts to have to go through, and they're still running a positive balance on top of all of that. Absolutely ridiculous. So we will send these guys onto the fort. And then I'll send Siege General if we have them on afterwards. We don't. We don't have a single Siege General. We are ahead on tech, so I will actually recruit another one. That way he can go ahead and help make the siege go a little bit faster. Because again, our worst enemy is going to be losing manpower. Alright, and we send a little artificer guy on there to get the siege going. Delayed salary. Are you serious? Right now? Now is when you want to do this? How much is 5 professionalism worth? It's worth 15,000? No. Oh, we have another invention. Alrighty, so although the T-Wave transmitter works perfectly fine to project sound from one communicator to another, what happens when the user needs to project an image as well? Our Technomancer artificers have determined the answer to that question. If they must transmit an image, then they will be able to. The apparitional communicator was created by applying illusion magic to a T-Wave transmission, allowing the new device to transmit an image of a small area around itself with some small delay. Although these do not have a particularly great material benefit over their only telepathic cousins, officially sponsoring this device would surely bring us fame like the arts of old. And a new coin. I don't want any more inflation, thank you very much. So we'll check out the new artificer privilege that we have here. An apparitional communicator. So 0.5 yearly prestige and 0.15 yearly Republican tradition. That's pretty good. Not really too useful for us, but I will gladly take it. And we will just do some more research. And we will go for warfare and armaments. Westham, yes, of course you can have access. Anybody that wants to kill Lorent right now, you can absolutely have access. 100%. Alright, so Lorent's ships aren't anywhere, so I'm just going to keep my ships in port. There's no reason to put them at risk if there is, well, no reason to. I also want to make sure I am improving with all of my colonial nations here. New Auden's Bay could use a top off, it looks like. Alright, everything's looking good over here so far. Except it takes forever to move around in New World provinces. Also took it off of speed 5. Probably not a good idea to have that happen. So, yeah, in a couple of days we'll check the peace deal. We'll see how much it's going to cost, and we will see what the AE looks like. I know Duran will join the coalition if we do this. Look at that. 3 provinces, and the coalition just blows up. Absolutely insane how that happens. Because they all just hate me in general because I'm a different religion. So actually, pulling you back. My colonial nation will be fine without the improvements. But I, on the other hand, desperately need some help when it comes to preventing coalitions from forming. Such is the power of Diplo ideas, right? If you can improve everybody's relation so high, then the AE is not as big of a deal. Doesn't look like we're going to have that option in this one. We do also want to keep an eye out on the other participants. 72? My goodness, they really want to fight me, like very badly. And yeah, it looks like Dame's Crown is messing up our ally here, but that's fine. That's what they're here for, is to prevent everybody else from coming to me directly. We will take tech next year for admin, not a big deal. And now we will also improve with you. Yeah, I probably should have allied at least one of these guys beforehand, just to try and make sure that, you know, they didn't do exactly what they're doing now. Just joining a coalition. So far, no sign of Lorent's troops, not that I'm complaining. Alright, I'm perfectly fine with Lorent doing things down here away from me. I'm just waiting for them to kind of pop out of the fog of war and mess us up pretty badly. We could call in Vertesk to the war. They did lose land. They lost a lot of land. Oh no, they just lost that one province from Gwed because we did not join them in a war. But it was a bad war to join. And now you'll join mine. Thanks, AI. I appreciate it. I will send one troop to go siege that province down. I don't really want to split up my army too much. I feel like that's a very big risk that I don't need to take. How is New Witachan doing? They're in a siege race, which is not a good thing because it looks like they're losing it, but I believe in them. I believe that they will do something good for us. There we go, and we can bring you back down. Now, Lorent's capital is down here, so it's 2 forts away, is what it's looking like. But I'd rather just stay up top, loot these provinces down while I'm sitting here, hurt Lorent as much as I can, even though I know that because of revanchism, Lorent will come out of this coalition war and the war against us even stronger than they are right now. I'm not too much of a fan of how that works, how you can beat down a country and then, you know, a couple decades later you go back to fight them and then they have double the amount of troops they had when you first fought them, and you're like, huh, that's interesting. Interesting how that happens. But since they are sieging down that fort, I am actually going to head south. My ally can siege all of this over here. And we will make our way towards their capital. I would rather not lose 50 admin. So, sure. I've lost a lot of Republican tradition from that. We gain enough back, and since we don't re-elect, it's not too big of a deal. We'll once again combine our troops over here. Last thing I want to do is let Lorent jump out and stack wipe part of my army when I'm not paying attention. Why? What? Why are there trolls in Nimscott? Did I let them in there? Huh. Alright, well. They're there now. Our army is not so grand. I don't know. It's feeling pretty grand at the moment. We're kind of going at the #1 world power. Remember, I mean, Lorent's #1 and we're #2. So this is kind of like World War I early, but it's just a 1v1 and hopefully nobody else gets involved. Ugh, more people. Another slave nation, huh? Interesting. No, I definitely do not want to freaking play as them. Could you imagine accidentally clicking that button? You put all these hours into building up the gnomes, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'll just go play this random orc freed slave colony. Gosh, that would be really rough. Still no sign of his army. I mean, it makes me kind of scared that I can't see it. I'm gonna be completely honest. Looks like our ally is getting sieged down. They did lose their capital, but they are getting it back, so that's alright. And we're getting ever closer to being able to get on top of Lorent's capital. There we go. We siege that down. Now we have to come over to this fort. And then we take care of that fort, and then we can go onto his capital. It'll take a while to get there. Oh my goodness sakes. Yeah, I want that. What in the world? Plus 100? Are you serious? Oh my god, our colonies are about to just pop off. That is an insane modifier. Like, that doubled it. That is, whew. All right, yeah, I'll take that gladly. Gladly. So, looks like our forts are popping up. I'm going to delete this fort. No reason to pay for 2 forts right next to each other. We still somehow only have 9% war score. I don't I don't know how that is working. It's almost all from ticking. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Like, we have a lot of his country occupied and still nothing. Like, I don't know about that. Yeah, and now a colony is completing. Yeah, they're gonna complete real fast now. We're just gonna send them right back out there. Keep growing. Glad that I noticed that before I quickly clicked on something that would not be as useful. Okay, there's his army. I didn't scorch earth here. That was a mistake. I'm gonna barrage these walls because I want to catch this army while it is hopefully alone. Oh, never mind. They're screwed. Oh, and our commandant died. I'm going to fish for another one. I really want another commandant. I'm going to... I don't see any other centers of trade, so I'm going to just keep going around this area and growing it out. That sounds good to me. Another month tick, we'll look for new commandant. Yep, your stack wiped. Alright, got the gate. We will scorch this one. It is a woods fort. I think I make a play for Lorent itself. I mean, he's gonna go stack wipe my ally, but I couldn't get up there in time anyways. And if I take his capital, that'll definitely bring him back down towards me very quickly. Oh. Alright, they got some troops around here. Let's see what he does. He also has some separatists rising up. So that's enough to keep that guy out of a coalition. Let's just check again. Nope, I'm gaining inventiveness. You can all screw off. 8%. 8% war score. Oh man, that is freaking ridiculous. So Madelaire, who are you? You. Let's improve relations. I would like to take another province or two to release some vassals for reconquest, because a lot of these guys in here, there's a lot of halflings, and there's some nations I could release. Most of them are only like 1 or 2 provinces, which is kind of rough, but it's fine in the long run. I'd rather get some reconquest than none at all. They are no longer allied with us because they got wrecked by Dameshead. That's fine. Doesn't really bother me all that much. Let's just, yeah. Thought it said that one of our colonies finished. Maybe it didn't. And still no commandant, huh? Interesting. It looks like our colony here is a little broken. They didn't keep sieging us down, but it looks like they are going to go get their capital back. I suppose that makes some sense. And we have 1 siege of their capital. That gives us 30 war score. So let's pull back from BPEC, and that should be enough to peace out for what we would want in this war. I'd say it's a pretty good war. Didn't have to fight a single battle. And I get to take the provinces that I want. This coalition will not fire. We'll soon be going to war with Gwed just to take some money probably and keep them on a truce timer. Now, one of the nations that I wanted to release was Poiuymew. And I wanted to take this province right here because it was the cheapest one. Or no, that was Butterburn. Oh man, there's so many little halfling nations in here. So yeah, Poiuymew I can get these 3 provinces from, and I think that's it. And then up in here, there is Elkmarch. And Elkmarch actually has a decent amount of reconquest that I could do. So I could reconquest all of that. So we will take this province as well if people will allow me to release a vassal. They will not. Oh yes they will though. Ha ha ha. Because it's going to be on the yearly tick which means we're not going to have to worry about AE. Because we will get that yearly decrease in AE, which means that Westham and Selmaldor will not join a coalition, but everybody else will. Ah. Nope, I don't think we can do it. But we'll just take more money. Will you give me war reps? I don't need him to concede that here. I can do that in a separate war, I think. Oh. Actually, I mean, we might as well, right? Yeah. We'll go for a little bit longer this episode. This is a pretty big war. So we will continue on. The problem is going to be if this fort falls, they're going to get a lot of war enthusiasm and such. Let's head up north. Really, this isn't going to hurt Lorent all that much in the long run. Because I'm not killing their peeps, their troops. But he is coming back down. Yeah, and Westham is going to run away. So I will actually divert my troops into right here. You know what? I think it's time we take a fight if Lorent comes near us. If I can actually move my guys around correctly. There we go. And we'll move right on to Lysaean. Oh. Yep, there we go. And we will bring them in as reinforcements. We will try and help out Westham. Nope. Oh my goodness. Look at that. We are eviscerating them. Oh goodness. Did Vertesk draw? That's fair. They just got out of a war. Yeah. Ooh, I am much less scared of Lorent now. Man, that is some... We just killed 20,000 of them and only lost 5,000 men. And we don't even have a full back row of cannons, which is something we're going to have to do relatively soon. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. This is going wonderfully. I don't know where he's retreating to, it doesn't really matter. We will pull our troops back out so we don't take lots of attrition. The power of artificery. These humans will not make it much longer. But neither will we in this war, to be fair, if we don't hurry on up. Because they're going to start unsieging everything, and then they'll be like, aha, we're making gains. And it's like, no, you're really not. Perfect, so we can take that. Nobody's going to care, because it's in the New World. We kick Lorent out of the New World at the same time that we take some land back home. I'm still really upset that we can't take more without risking a coalition, but I cannot afford to get caught in a coalition right now. Is there anything else I want to do? Yes, there is. I want to mothball every single fort that I have taken. Just so the coalition war can take as much as they can. There we go. Perfect, 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 perfect. Y'all are really gonna get mad at me for that, so. Hey, I'd say this was a successful war. Boom. Thank you. And just like that, we can bring our troops home. Beautiful. Big New Nimsgod. We will abandon this colony because New Nimsgod can pay for that on their own. We do have a colonist that we can send out. Wow, they're up to a lot of troops really fast. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm nervous that they will declare war on my colonial nation. That would be unfortunate. But we are going to start making our way south, I think, now. Because really we're the only major power in the New World as of this moment. We just kicked Lorent out. Duran is still around, but they're not going to be able to do much against us. Whenever we decide to go to war with them, they will collapse. So we can finally complete a mission, a land route south. So during the era of Black Ice, the Bavarians would settle in what they would now call the Reaver's Coast. We must reconquer this land, both to establish a land route to the city of Portnum and to give ourselves a potential staging ground to liberate small country. So we gain 100 diplomatic power, and now we need to put a fort in Iochand instead of Carverhold. I mean, that's kind of upsetting that there's one right here, but I have to put it back here, but whatever. We'll core it up first, and then when that's done, we'll build a fort. And I think that's what we're going to call it for today. Lorent was not as scary as I thought it was. Artificery is so powerful. Just eliminating shock damage allows us to just tear them apart. So Lorent better watch out, because eventually I won't care about AE as much, and I will just keep chipping away at him piece by piece until all of this land is ours. I'd like to thank you all for joining in, and I hope to see you in the next one.